Every kingdom has its legends, stories of valiant heroes, of wise kings who guided their people to prosperity, of golden ages where peace reigned supreme. But Omoku whispers a different tale, a darker one, a chilling echo across the centuries that speaks of a prince, not of virtue, not of valor, but of profound wickedness, a heart as black as the midnight sky, a soul steeped in shadows and malice. He was born into royalty, destined for greatness, yet his path diverged into tyranny, into torment. His name, Prince Kalu. His reign brought not blessings, but despair. His legacy, a deep, festering scar on the very soul of a proud nation. Grandmothers still use his name to quiet unruly children, a name synonymous with fear itself. This is the saga of Omoku's cursed heir, the wicked prince, and the terror he unleashed upon his own people. Are you ready to uncover the chilling truth? From his earliest days, Kalu was different, not the playful, curious spirit of other royal children. His eyes held a peculiar coldness, a calculating glint that seemed to assess, rather than engage, while his younger brother, Obi, practiced diplomacy and showed genuine kindness. Kalu mastered manipulation and coercion. He found perverse joy in the discomfort of others. Palace pets vanished without explanation. Servants were unfairly punished for minor infractions. These were small acts of cruelty, often dismissed by a doting king and queen as youthful exuberance, or simply a strong will. But the palace seers, those who truly observed, they saw it. They spoke of a shadow, a growing darkness within the royal line. Warnings went unheeded. The seeds of tyranny were sown in plain sight, fertilized by indifference and fear. No one dared confront the future king, not even his own father. As Kalu matured, his cruel streak sharpened into a razor's edge. He surrounded himself with sycophants, men who eagerly profited from his malice and fed his ego. He imposed arbitrary, crushing taxes, seizing land and wealth from the common folk under false pretenses. Any hint of dissent, met with swift, brutal, and often public force. The royal guards, once protectors of Omoku, became instruments of his personal will. Their loyalty bought through fear and privilege. Fear, like a cold shroud, descended upon Omoku. The bustling markets grew quiet. Laughter became a rare, forbidding sound. The king, aging and frail, watched helplessly, his heart heavy with dread. His son, his heir, was slowly devouring the kingdom from within. Piece by agonizing piece, Obi, the kind brother, tried to intervene, to reason. His pleas fell on deaf ears. Kalu saw kindness as weakness, compassion as a challenge, not an appeal. Kalu's wickedness knew no bounds. He demanded absolute loyalty, not just from his subjects' actions, but from their very souls. Public executions became gruesome spectacles. Grim warnings etched into the memories of all who witnessed them. Families were torn apart by his decrees. Ancient temples, sacred to the people, were desecrated to assert his dominance over all traditions. He truly believed himself untouchable, above the laws of gods and men. Omoku, once a beacon of prosperity and peace, was now a land of sorrow and famine. Its once fertile fields lay fallow, its granaries empty, plundered to fuel Kalu's lavish lifestyle and his endless wars against imaginary enemies. The people starved, while Kalu feasted, oblivious to their suffering, or perhaps, delighting in it. Hope dwindled to a faint ember. Whispers of rebellion, quickly crushed with overwhelming brutality, only tightened Kalu's iron grip. The very land itself seemed to weep under his oppressive shadow. But even in the deepest despair, A flicker of defiance can ignite. It began not with a mighty warrior, but with a storyteller, an old woman, Mama Ada, whose voice carried the ancient tales of Omoku, tales of its glorious past and its valiant ancestors. She began weaving new narratives, stories of forgotten heroes who rose against tyranny, of justice prevailing against insurmountable odds. Her words, subtle yet potent, reignited a spark in the hearts of the downtrodden. Soon, secret gatherings formed in hushed corners of the kingdom. Farmers, traders, even some disillusioned royal guards, weary of Kalu's cruelty, they spoke of reclaiming Omoku, of restoring its lost glory. Prince Obi, heartbroken by his brother's reign, found himself drawn to these desperate whispers. He saw a chance, a dangerous, almost impossible chance, but a chance nonetheless to save his homeland from utter ruin. Kalu, ever vigilant, sensed the shift, the quiet murmurs that were no longer just fear, but defiance, the defiant glances in the marketplace. He sent his network of ruthless spies to uncover the source. Mama Ada was swiftly seized. Her public trial, a complete farce designed to terrorize, was announced with great fanfare. Kalu intended to make an unforgettable example of her, to crush the spirit of Omoku for good. But as her unjust sentence was read, a clear, strong voice rang out from the crowd. Prince Obi, he stepped forward, standing before his brother, openly challenging his tyranny and the travesty of justice. The crowd gasped in collective shock. Kalu's rage was legendary, infamous. He ordered Obi's immediate arrest, his face contorted in a mask of fury. But the people, emboldened by Obi's unwavering courage, stirred. The executioner hesitated. This was no longer just a trial. It was a confrontation, a turning point that would decide Omoku's fate. The palace erupted into chaos. Guards loyal to Kalu clashed violently with those secretly allied with Obi. Their hidden loyalties now openly declared. The common folk, armed with whatever they could find, farming tools, kitchen knives, stones, surged forward, their desperation fueling their courage. The air filled with shouts, the clang of metal, the cries of battle. Obi, fighting with a ferocity no one expected from the gentle prince, became a powerful rallying cry for the rebellion. Kalu, for the very first time, faced true, organized resistance, not cowering subjects, but an enraged populace fighting for their freedom. He retreated to his inner chambers, his face a contorted mask of disbelief and pure fury. He had underestimated them. He had gravely underestimated his own brother. The foundations of his wicked empire began to crumble, brick by agonizing brick, under the weight of Omoku's righteous wrath. The battle raged throughout the long, dark night. By dawn, the grand palace was taken, its halls scarred by conflict. Kalu was cornered in his ornate throne room, his eyes wild with desperation. It was a desperate, final stand. He launched at Obi, a jeweled dagger glinting wickedly in his hand, a final act of fratricidal rage. But Obi was ready. Their clash was swift, brutal, a tragic ballet of brothers turned enemies. The fate of Omoku hung precariously in the balance with every parry and thrust in the end. Kalu fell, not directly by Obi's blade, but by his own blind fury, his overwhelming hubris. He stumbled, impaling himself on a falling, broken spear, a grotesque and ignoble end for a prince who had envisioned eternal power. His reign of terror, finally, irrevocably over. The silence that followed the last clan of steel was deafening, a heavy peace settling over the exhausted kingdom. With Kalu gone, a new, tentative dawn broke over Omoku. Prince Obi, now king, faced the daunting task of healing a kingdom utterly broken by years of tyranny. The scars of Kalu's reign ran deep, not just on the land, but within the hearts of its people. Trust had to be rebuilt from scratch. Justice, long denied, had to be painstakingly restored. It was a long, arduous journey filled with challenges and setbacks. But Omoku, guided by its new king's compassion and unwavering resolve, slowly, painfully began to mend. The tale of Kalu, the wicked prince, became a cautionary legend, whispered through generations, a powerful reminder of the fragility of power, of the corrosive, destructive nature of unchecked evil. It was a story not just of a villain's reign, but of the indomitable resilience of a people who, against all odds, chose hope over despair, a warning etched into history. The majestic throne of Omoku stands today, not as a symbol of fear, but of enduring hope. But the shadows of Kalu's wickedness still serve a vital purpose. They remind us that true leadership lies not in dominion, but in selfless service, not in inspiring terror, but in fostering justice and compassion for all. The story of the wicked prince teaches us that the greatest power is not found in individual strength or brute force, but in the collective will and unity of a people, and that even the darkest, most oppressive night will eventually yield to the dawn. If the people hold on to their spirit, what legends do your people whisper? What profound lessons do they hold within their ancient narratives? Consider the legacy you build with every choice, every action, for every deed, good or ill, etches itself indelibly into the scrolls of time, to be remembered for eternity.